Well, hello, Anthem. I hope you're doing well. We are in this series called The Good Book, where we're looking at the Bible and how it is a collection of books. It's a library of writings and books. And this past Sunday, we looked at the idea. We're in the section of the Bible that is called the poetry section. The scripture is put together, the Bible is put together according to the type of literature. So the first 5 books are the law. Then when you get into the book of Joshua, through Kings and Chronicles and Ezra and Nehemiah, all of those, you get the history books. And then you get to books like Job and Psalms and Proverbs, Song of Solomon. And those are wisdom books or poetry books. And then you get into the major prophets and the minor prophets, which we'll be doing here soon. But this past Sunday, as we're looking at 40 significant chapters in the Bible, we looked at 5 in the book of Genesis, super important book, the book of Genesis, and our understanding of God and what it means to follow Him. Then we looked at some chapters in Genesis, in Exodus, and then we also looked at the story of David and the story of Samson and compared those two men in their lives. And then this past Sunday, we looked at the life of Job and looked at Job chapter 1. We're supposed to look at 3 chapters from Psalms and then the book of Proverbs. And so I want to take a little time and talk about those. So what I want to talk about in this video is Psalms 23. Psalms 23 is ranked pretty high as far as most popular chapters in the Bible. If you've ever been to a funeral or memorial service, you've probably heard somebody read Psalms 23. It's an amazing chapter or poem, we should say, written by David. It's short, 6 verses, but it's got some really powerful stuff in it. And so I just want to hit a couple of highlights, just kind of remind us. I would say that Psalms 23 is one of those chapters in the Bible that we should read on a pretty regular, consistent basis, even to the point that we should be able to memorize most of it. It starts off, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Some translations say, "The Lord is my shepherd, I have everything that I need." That's huge. Are you there? Do you really believe that? I mean, are you to the point in your walk with God when you can say that if I have God, I have everything that I need? If we're honest, most of us will say, well, I need God and a really good job. I need God and a beautiful wife. I need God and perfect kids. I need God and a beautiful home and the place that I really want to live. The Lord is my shepherd. I have everything that I need. The Lord is my shepherd. I have all that I want. That's a goal. That's a place to strive for, to get to that point where I really can believe that if I have God, that I have everything that I need. And if I can get to that point, worry goes out the window, fear goes out the window. I have God, I have all that I need. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. Now, David is writing this, and David was a shepherd. He was a shepherd boy. He spent a lot of time in the field taking care of sheep and dealing with that. And so this very much has a shepherd feel to it. He says, he makes me lie down in green pastures. And the interesting word there is makes. We are built for all kinds of things. We're built for community. We're built for dialogue. We're built to accomplish things. It feels good when we're valued. We want to be valuable to people. We're built for work. Work is a very Christian concept. We're also built for rest. And when you're a type A personality or a striver, firstborn, rest can be something that you see as a negative. God believes so much in rest that one of His commandments was to take a Sabbath, that one 24-hour period every week should be dedicated to rest and to be rejuvenated. And man, we don't do that. We really do not do that. We're constantly on the go, even when we rest, even when we take a vacation, so to speak. Our vacation is packed filled with all of this stuff, and we come back more exhausted than when we left. It says that He makes me lie down in green pastures. If I don't choose to rest, if I don't choose to lay down in green pastures and enjoy life and be rejuvenated, it's going to get to the point where God's going to make me do that. I've heard it said by lots of pastors that if you don't take the time to lay down, then God will put you on your back. I mean, God will put you on your back one way or the other to get us to rest. So he leads me beside still water. He restores my soul. Oh my goodness, I love that phrase. He restores my soul. My soul is in a battle. My spirit is alive with Christ, but my soul is wounded and hurt, and my soul has its own mind and its own will and its own emotions, and my soul desperately needs to be restored by God. And that really needs to be our daily prayer. God, please restore my soul, because unless he does it, my soul is going to stay wounded, and I'm going to stay in a pretty rough place. He goes on to say, he leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. It's all about his glory. We can't forget that. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. To know that regardless of what we're going through in life, God's there, just like we talked about this past Sunday in the life of Job, and terrible things that happen, to know that God is always there. Verse 5 says, you prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. And we looked at this a couple of months back in our church when we watched Louis Giglio give a sermon, and he brought out to us and remind us here that God doesn't remove our enemies. He just prepares a table in the presence of our enemies. And to know that our enemy's not going to be taken away, and our enemies are not going to be taken away. But he does prepare a table for us and gives us that refuge even even when we're in the middle of the battle. He anoints our head with oil, and my cup overflows. He's filled with all kinds of blessings for us. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. David had a very clear understanding that this life that we're living here on this place is temporary, but the ultimate home, the ultimate destination is to live forever with God. Psalms 23, great little chapter. You should read it often. Hope you do. Talk to you soon.